Smash Bros. Is a celebration of all things Nintendo, although it sometimes can get a little bit Mario and Pokemon heavy, so it feels like Mario, Pikachu, and pals. It usually does fairly well with the extended references, but still often leaves some of the B-list franchises lacking while pulling Electroplankton and Pictochat out of their graves. With such a diverse history, here are some franchises or Nintendo properties that should get more than a trophy. During the N64 era, Nintendo released a fairly realistic snowboarding game, though with a sense of humor, for example being able to snowboard on a penguin. This game did well enough to warrant a sequel for the GameCube, but not well enough for PETA to care. Since then, this franchise has remained dead. I think this franchise could make for a fun and unique stage though. I imagine fighting on the slopes while snowboarders fly through the air behind and eventually reach you and potentially crash into you. Perhaps you'd move about the slope periodically, or perhaps such a stage could even transition a reference to other franchises like Wave Race. Doshin is the first franchise where several possibilities spring to mind immediately. He'd likely be too large, and being too large is a big part of him, unlike Ridley, so he probably couldn't be playable. But he could potentially have a stage or an assist trophy. While not seeming to have sold exceptionally well, this is one of Nintendo's newest franchises, and one that stands to possibly grow. With a colorful world somewhere between Mario's Mushroom World and Kirby's Dream Land, and with a musical gimmick, you could have an interesting stage, assist trophy, or some catchy My Music tracks. Chibi-Robo is one of Nintendo's newer and stranger franchises. I played a demo of the 3DS sequel, and I want to emphasize the bizarreness. There was some weird thing living in the microwave, and then you had flaming French ketchup and mustard bottles. In short, everything you needed to make a crazy Smash Bros. Stage. If all the characters were shrunk to chibi size, and fought on a kitchen counter or a tabletop, clapping spoons or plants while these characters danced gaily in the background, pardon my double entendre, it could easily be one of the most memorable stages in any Smash Bros. Yeah, you may have seen these in Crazy Connections. Unfortunately, I strongly doubt we'd see a Blockman until at least Smash 6. But hey, Color TV Game 15 was referenced again. That was remembered about as well as Nintendo's ballpoint pen escapades. N&B Blocks tends to fall between Game & Watch and Love Hotels. Again, I think a LEGO-themed stage could be just as memorable as a Chibi-Robo stage. However, using N&B Blocks would mean Nintendo wouldn't have to spend 1 extra cent to make the stage. A stage is pretty much all I could think of since it couldn't bring any of my music tracks. Maybe this could even be combined as an Easter egg into a Chibi-Robo stage. So there would be a licensing fee to use the name Tetris for something like a stage, but Nintendo is a very familiar and trusted face around the Tetris company. In addition, because of this, Nintendo almost partially owns the Tetris IP, at least everything they bring to the game besides the LT, S, and Z blocks. They could bring back their Tetris people for a stage or assist trophy and pay nothing. However, what is the point of a Tetris stage without the blocks? That is what would allow some creative stages. Perhaps the stage could scroll like Rainbow Cruiser and blocks could connect together forming a path. Or perhaps you could fight where blocks fall overhead. Nintendo could do so many things to reference Tetris. Various Paper Mario characters always top many people's wish lists. Unfortunately, these characters have very low odds. Take Goombario or Goombella. How would you differentiate these two from generic Goombas? Not to mention Goombas would be very hard to develop a moveset for already. If anyone, you'd see Watt, Rockhawk, Dupless, Flurry, or Vivian, or potentially Bombette or Bobbery. These games also have plenty of catchy songs, but what really is most worth representing is the Paper Yoshi Story-esque appearance. The games have plenty of charming paper humor, and a properly done stage could really be a better Paper Mario love letter than any character. This is a franchise so much could be drawn from. And honestly, I'd love to see a character take their moves from the innumerable Mario parties. But let's stick to the 9 people now. If Waluigi and Toad had a chance, they'd be great contenders. More so Waluigi since he is a mainstay of sports, parties, and karting, as well as a short stint in dance-offs. The sports aspect is well covered already, and while I would definitely want a potential Waluigi to power up his bashing move to swinging a full-size Mario Kart for the absurdity that would fit Waluigi perfectly, though I think a Mario Party centered theme would fit his style perfectly with as crafty as he is. I'm digressing though. Even without a representative, Mario Party should be referenced with an item, assist trophy, or however you'd make a Mario Party stage. I wouldn't be quite satisfied with just music, but that would also be very welcome. Like I said in my unlikely first party episode, I really doubt this will get a playable character, but it deserves something. I can't imagine a last story item, or really a remotely unique assist trophy. However, the game had plenty of nice songs that at least should be referenced, and a number of unique levels. Perhaps the best potential for a stage would be the Ruined Castle and the inclusion of the Spleen Man.
Oh, my spleen!
I like Pushmo. It is far too underrated. The problem is Mallow can push and pull, jump, and reverse time. Potentially he could reverse time as an assist trophy, which would actually be pretty funny in some situations. Or frustrating. The music is limited too, however Pushmo's stage could be a very unique stage. Perhaps Mallow pushes and pulls blocks around, changing the battlefield. It could be very fun and would be more appealing than Tamagotchi. We've covered that I expect Isaac has a chance of being playable, and if he is, he still needs a stage. No Fire Emblem treatment for Golden Sun. I could list prime locations for hours here, but if he isn't playable, and I'm not certain he will be, we definitely need plenty. Multiple music tracks at least, and still a freaking Golden Sun stage. As much as I'd like a Glory of Heracles character, they are very likely not going to happen before Waluigi's playable. Still, this is a fairly long-standing franchise, with more games than the #1 spot. It deserves some recognition, even if it is only music or an assist trophy. And I think a stage could be kind of bland, so let's cross our fingers for music or an assist trophy. I wanted Ray in Brawl, however I've always acknowledged his moveset could be difficult to create, and would poorly represent his franchise. Custom Robo is pretty big and well known now, so it should get something. If Ray's assist trophy returns, he should be made bigger since size doesn't matter. Being tiny was never key to his character. They could also go the extra step and have several robots the assist could appear as. However, a stage could be very interesting, and might just satisfy my desire for custom Robo representation. There are good locations for a stage, both Coliseum and real-world locations. Play into the late game of the GameCube custom Robo, and tell me the outside wouldn't be a great stage to fight on. What Nintendo franchise or IP would you like to see represented in Smash? I know I didn't cover every Nintendo IP that isn't guaranteed some representation already,